My name is John Gaberino. I'm the founder, one of the founders, with my brother-in-law and my wife, and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, who is no longer with us, of what is now branded as Topeca. It started when I found out about coffee growing and commodities market. For me, the motivation was changing what I felt was a broken system that did not allow for the farmers to ever have a chance at an equitable fight in the game. Initially started working on developing knowledge about the history of the family and coffee, and developing a brand, and then identifying where and how we wanted to grow. And so we initially invested in taking this farm that Margarita's mother had, Mrs. Lopez, whose name is Margarita as well. It was 100 acres, and we had what I call a vineyard approach, where we only sourced coffee from the farm. For me, every pound that we bought from another farm was a pound that I wasn't paying the highest price from our farm. So originally we actually were shipping it overnight, more or less, got here in 3 days from El Salvador. Seemed easy, seemed like a great solution, where we could actually give more jobs on the farm, roast it down there, and ship it here fresh. Everything seemed to be working for a little bit, but pretty quickly the costs and logistics were proving to be insurmountable. And it motivated us to go ahead and invest in a roaster here in the US as well. So in 2005, we placed the order and got our first roaster here in Tulsa. 1 year, we had a bad harvest, and our volume of sales was such that we were forced to make a choice. Cut customers, because we were not going to receive the same volume of coffee from the farm because they had a low yield production 1 year, or start buying from importers. The moment we actually started roasting coffees from around the world, it made us more knowledgeable about our own coffee. It made us better roasters of our own coffee. You know, Ian started working with us, I think, 11 years ago. And so that really opened this huge door to him, and he grabbed it by the horns and just really ran with, and has just excelled amazingly at understanding every aspect of coffee from a global scale.
My name's Ian. I'm the director of coffee, and I've been working with Topeca for about 11 years. As director of coffee, I just kind of oversee all the operations and quality control. Since we are involved at every level, from seed to the nursery to the farm and mill and export, import, roasting, we get to see the impacts of each one of those levels. So we get this unique perspective that most of your average roasters, small or large, aren't necessarily going to have. You know, there are a lot of roasters that do direct trade and do work directly with their supply partners, but not any that, you know, have the type of influence and control and perspective that we have, you know, being vertically integrated, which has really informed you know, me as a coffee educator. And I think as a whole, the brand and what we do here at the roastery, you know, we try to weigh every decision with the understanding of how that might impact other parts of the supply chain. There's not one piece that is more important than the other. You know, the success with one has to be success for all. Once those coffees are in-house, actually before they're in-house, you know, I'm doing a lot of sample roasting in my roasting lab, finding the coffees that are appropriate. Then once I purchase those coffees come in-house. Then it's a process of figuring out, okay, how do we make this bean taste the best that it can be? Having this rich story behind us with our family, and, you know, going back 6 generations as coffee producers in El Salvador, obviously that's a unique story, and that's not one that many coffee roasters in the world could tell. We're really excited to be working with Lokoly, put together this well thought out and curated box for you guys. Again, that's going to include our Tres Fincas blend that's exclusive to the Coffee Club members. We're pairing that with a delicious Ethiopian fruit-dried coffee called Sasaba, and then our Nitro cold brew in a can. Go ahead, knock your socks off.